Thomas Hearns, on his way to the World Championship after 17 consecutive knockout wins, meets welterweight Alfonso Hayman. Philadelphia, 3rd of April, 1979.
We're at the huge Spectrum Arena for this one and expect Hearns to start quickly. Hayman, experienced, durable, and gets in with a good right hand. Hearns has a look at that, but just watch for these flashy combinations which have marked his rise through the professional ranks so far. He's got blinding hand speed. And they're already unloading with lefts and rights, and terrific chopping right hand in there, and flashing hooks to the body, and Hayman bobbing this way and that, can do little more than just cover up and try and buy a little bit of time, and just see the explosive power which this man appears to possess. All Hearns' pro wins have come by stoppage, and he's going out looking for the early finish. Hayman, though, with good local support, comes from Philadelphia. You can see he's got great problems there just getting into Hearns. He's got to work inside that 78-inch reach of the man from the Kronk Gym in Detroit. Oh, and Hearns catches him again with a good right into the side of the head. Hayman's been on the fringe of world class, maybe a little bit on the slide in the last 2 or 3 years. Hearns, of course, his career very, very much on the up. Again, showing that hand speed, beating Hayman to the punch. Another good combination from the hitman. Hearns in the white shorts, of course, stands well over 6 feet tall, around about 6'1". Very, very tall indeed for a welterweight. Hayman looking to bob inside, slip through that left-hand lead. But all the better work coming from Hearns in the opening round. Again, that solid jab followed up by fast right hook into the rib cage. Hayman did go in against Rocky Mattioli back in 1976. Mattioli later went on to become the WBA version of the champion. And a little bit of encouragement for the local man on the bell there. Got through with 2 or 3 hooks into the body, but emphatically that first round goes to Tommy Hearns. Hearns up on his toes. Oh, and look at the speed again. He does have one-punch knockout strength, unquestionably, since moving to the Kronk. He's found that. As an amateur, it wasn't really apparent, but working with his trainer, experienced man Manny Stewart, working with Manny Stewart, he's really found an extra dimension, Tommy Hearns. Lateral movement from Hayman there, though, keeping him out of trouble. A lot of jabs snaking out from Hearns, but quite a few of them off the target. Alfonso Hayman, 28 years old, and there Hearn now really is picking off. Oh, tremendous right hand, and just for a moment Hayman looked as though he was wobbled a little by that one. There was a sag in the knees, almost looked as though he was going to go down, and Hearns is emphatically in control and now is looking to unload. Hayman does have the reputation of durability. Manny Stewart's brought him here for this fight, looking to test Hearns over longer periods. But Hayman seems to have recovered his composure well. Another fast jab from Hearns. You wonder a little bit about the leg strength of Tommy Hearns at this stage. Almost spindly in his lower body compared to that chiselled upper torso. Oh, another good combination. That's terrific left-right combinations again from Hearns. Two of them firing in, and Hayman, for all his experience, unable to do anything about it, and picked off again by two more ramrod jabs. Oh, this is exhibition stuff from Hearns. Absolutely brilliant. You can't fault Hayman for his heart, though. He's still coming back trying to fire, but he's soaking up so many of those left leads of Hearns. Up on his toes, Hearns. And a good right hook, and another one. And Hayman's soaking up a terrific battering in the second round. This is going to Hearns by an absolute landslide, this 3-minute period. And right at the bell there, a little touch of gloves, always nice to see. And into the third, Tommy Hearns is emphatically on top. Good footwork from Hearns. He uses the ring so well. Terrific mobility, in and out, landing with those stinging combinations. Superb work from Hearns. All behind that left jab. Such a quality punch. Hayman not throwing too much at the moment, trying to get Hearns to come inside, get into his range so he can land with his own hooks, but he's taking so many as he tries to do so. And just holding back a little bit with that right hand. That's the power punch, the Motor City Cobra. There it goes. Hearns with his back to us in the white shorts. Hayman does get through with a couple of rights into the side of the head. They're no more than glancing blows. The crowd here, nearly 6,000. In this big arena, also used for basketball. Oh, good right hand from Hayman got in, and the left hook. Better work from the Philadelphia fighter. Hearns just holding back a little bit on the right hand. He's not thrown too many in the last minute or two. Now he's up onto his toes again. Exhibition stuff from Hearns. The fast knockout hasn't come this time. Just watch the way Hearns swings back and leans back so wonderfully when Hayman tries to let go those hooks. He really has superb anticipation, and that's 3 out of 3 surely for Tommy Hearns. Scheduled to go 10 rounds. Into the fourth. It's a big disappointment to Tommy Hearns when he failed to make the United States team for the Olympics in 1976. Lost to Howard Davis in the trials, but he's come back well as a professional. That must have been an enormous setback. Turned pro straight away after that, and it's been all triumph since. Hayman's just ploughing forward though. He's hardly taken a backward step. Jab of Hearns is such an insistent weapon. Hayman just soaking up punch after punch. Already they're talking about world title fights in the not too far distant future for Tommy Hearns, and you can see why. Mixing up his punches so well. Fast body shots. Oh, and a good right hand, and another one. Anxious times once again for Hayman. Well, what a good chin this man's got. If Hayman were to win here, it would be an enormous upset. The crowd's responding to Hearns as once again he goes into exhibition mode, flashing out that jab. Hayman's got to do something spectacular if he's going to turn the tide of this fight. Hearns, of course, can't afford to get careless. According to the tail of the tape, there's an 8-inch difference in reach, and you can see that coming into play again and again, and right on the bell, another fast combination from Tommy Hearns. And as they go into the fifth, well, I've got it Hearns by a complete shutout at this stage. Oh, and Hearns down, but there's a slip. There's no punch there, and the referee says that's not a knockdown. Hearns just slipping on the water by the looks of it in the corner of Hayman. Probably used just to try and freshen him up between rounds. Real stiff jabs again. 9 or 10 punches, 12 punches perhaps without reply from Hayman. Still looks as though Hearns is nursing that right hand a little bit. Hayman just keeps on boring in. Oh, good right again from Hearns, and another one. But what about this man's chin? Hayman keeping on leaping in, trying to jump in behind those leads, make up for the difference in reach. Pattern though remaining the same. Right hand from Hayman does get through, but Hearns just swayed back, took the impetus out of it and replies with a classic little right into the ribs, and another good combination. Hayman certainly trying, and you take your hat off to him from that point of view, but in all honesty, he's being outclassed. And another round, once again, for Tommy Hearns. Into the sixth. It's a useful learning experience for Hearns. This man so tough, so rugged, and still in there, still pitching. Oh, more good combinations from the Detroit man, Tommy Hearns. Hayman being made to miss again and again with those swinging hooks, and all the time soaking up punishment as he comes forward. Hayman trying to use head movement, lateral movement to keep away from that jab, but it's deadly accurate. Oh, good left hook from Hearns. You begin to wonder just how much more Alfonso Hayman can take of this. Oh, good right again from Hearns. Hayman's bravely coming back, but barely anything he's throwing now is landing on the taller man. Into the second half of the fight now, and Hearns varying his tactics beautifully. First minute or so of the ring, he chose to stand flat-footed, use his hand speed. Now he's up onto his toes. Good right hand on the bell. Owen Hearns complaining about a pain to the right hand. It was that blow which he threw where he really felt it right on the bell. Maybe a broken bone in that hand, in that right hand. Let's see just how much he throws it from now. Oh, blurring speed. The crowd loving it. It's the way he picks his punches and varies them so well. Beautiful little right counter. Bravely, Hayman keeps coming back. Plenty of welterweights in the world who Alfonso Hayman might still be able to beat, but on this night at the moment it's one-way traffic. Oh, terrific left jab again from Hearns. Saw it rock back Hayman's head as he came in trying to throw that right over the top. See so many fights where it can be difficult to score rounds. No problem here. And maybe just easing off the pace a bit here in round 7. Content to stick out that jab and pick up the points as he does so. good doubling up again. Two fast left hooks into the side of the head. Really has got a superb chin as Alfonso Hayman. Taking punch after punch, and so many fighters would surely have gone down with that sort of onslaught against them. Into the 8th round, scheduled for 10. Hayman still plugging away, trying to fire off shots into the body, maybe trying to get Hearns to drop that guard and just make the one error which could yet swing the course of the fight. Hayman coming in with increasingly an air of desperation as he tries to throw these punches from way back, and there's no way as accomplished a performer as Hearns is going to get caught by that sort of effort, and he's just picking him off as he comes leaping in. Good body shot from Hearns. You could hear the left hook thud into the body there. Oh, terrific punch from Hearns. He walked onto that one, and he's going to look for it now. Tommy Hearns sensing that the early finish could be here. We're in the 8th, and these are desperate times for the local man. Crunching body shots coming in from Tommy Hearns. How is Hayman keeping going forward? Magnificent left hand. Terrific work from Tommy Hearns. This is such a class performance. Hayman bravely coming forward, somehow finding the strength to carry on. Not quite sure how the scoring's going to be going, but Hearns, by my way of looking at it, has to be leading by a long way, and a touch of appreciation. Hearns just pats his opponent at the end of that round. Into the 9th. Tommy Hearns has just 6 minutes left in which to maintain that record of having stopped all his opponents inside the distance. Oh, Hearns picks Hayman off again, but Hayman's bravely coming forward. Oh, and Hearns has gone down. But the referee says once again it's a slip, and maybe he was a little bit lucky with that, because I thought there was a punch in there. Hearns clearly not hurt by it, but he went down. The referee said it was a slip, and now the hitman comes back. He's fighting flat-footed now. Maybe he knows that he got caught a little bit in there, and he's now going to work, and he means business. Hearns over twice by slips, so the referee said. And now he's picking off Hayman again. Well, he was really looking to unwind with that left hook. Tremendous punches. The right hand he's using sparingly. Remember, he was complaining about it hurting as early as the 6th, and to me looks as though he was carrying it before then. Not unusual, of course, for big punchers. Frequently have hand trouble. This is a virtuoso performance from Tommy Hearns. Another terrific right hand. Oh, and Hayman's looking a little bit wobbly in there. He's just looking as though he might be coming towards the end of his tether. And if he were to finish now, you could scarcely blame him, because he's been on the receiving end of almost unrelenting pressure. Hearns up onto his toes now, almost Ali style. That left hook has been perhaps the most damaging weapon in the arsenal of Tommy Hearns this evening. The jab, of course, exceptional, but look at the way he's doubling up those hooks now. And I think that Alfonso Hayman mighty glad to hear the bell to end round 9. Into the 10th. 3 minutes to go. And Hayman, well, he's going to need a knockout to turn it round now, and frankly it's not going to happen. Hearns unloading almost at will now. And many a contest has been stopped before getting as one-sided as this. Look at this, almost unanswered, these punches raining in. Oh, great right hand. The referee looking carefully, he's having a careful look at Hayman, but he's allowing it to go on. Any fighter, of course, wants to come out of a contest like this on his shield, even if Hayman can't win it. There's an honouring going the distance, particularly against a talent such as this. Hearns just blowing a little bit. Not surprisingly, after the ferocity of that early attack in round 10. Great left hook into the body. Hearns way on top in the closing seconds of this fight. Hayman cut over the right eye. There's a lot of blood around in there. A minute to go in the final round. Well, surely Tommy Hearns must have just about won every round in this fight, almost from the word go. This young man, 20 years old, 8 years the junior of this plucky game opponent, has been raining the punches in and right up to the final bell. Here go the combinations, and Hearns has surely just about won every round in this fight, and once again underlined his arrival on the world stage. Great right hand again, and Hayman can do little more than just cover up. Hearns looking to try and finish it, but Hayman is still coming pitching back. The crowd are on their feet. Hearns still looking for that stoppage win, but it's not going to come. The array of punches on display, uppercuts, hooks, and that marvellous jab, and all around the ring they're up on their feet cheering as down goes Hayman, right on the bell, but the fight is over, and Tommy Hearns surely has won that by a long, long way. There's the cut over the eye which is getting attention in the Hayman corner. What a brave performance from Alfonso Hayman, and Tommy Hearns is given the verdict. He's won it by 10 rounds on 2 judges' cards, and by 1 on another. He wins fight number 18.